Are you tired of wandering aimlessly around Tamriel, searching for your next abode? Well, look no further. In this video, I'll be ranking all 18 player homes in Skyrim based on their design, amenities, and location. Stick around to see which homes make the top of the list. In no particular order, let's start with Hjerim, or Home of Frost. It's located in the northwestern region of Windhelm and is ideal for those who don't mind a brisk walk through peaceful snow-covered alleyways. But be warned, you might have to dodge the occasional beggar and frozen corpse. But hey, that's just a small price to pay for this grand and imposing exterior. And the interior, it's just as impressive. You'll step into a spacious and well-lit abode with a large kitchen to cook up a feast, a dining room to entertain fellow wizards, a children's bedroom to keep the little ones happy, and even a secret chamber where you can practice your wizardry. But do be careful not to wake up the kiddos who are only snoozing next door.
Papa!
And speaking of kids, don't worry, having the children's bedroom won't remove any of the other upgrades, which is a rare bonus, if you don't mind them. Upstairs you'll find the armory, and it's impressive. With 5 display cases, 3 mannequins, 1 weapon rack, and 4 weapon plaques, it's the perfect way to show off your hard-earned loot and make your guests feel inadequate. And if that's not enough, there's also a housecarl's quarters for your very own servant, and a spacious master bedroom with plenty of space to store your weapons and books. All in all, it's a beautiful home with extensive storage. However, you'll need to ignore its dark past to fully appreciate it. Hjerim will set you back 8,000 to 12,000 gold, depending on how much you have on you at the time of purchase, plus an extra 9,000 gold for all its upgrades. So with that all said, it's a pretty cool home and one of my long-time favourites, but it's got some stiff competition ahead, which is why I'm placing it in the A tier. And now, let me introduce you to Goldenhills Plantation from the Curation Club. This place is like a farmhouse on steroids, I tell you. It's located in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by the vast sparse tundra east of Rorikstead, and as such is not well fortified and may attract some unwanted visitors. But no worries, you can hire your own steward to manage the farm's production and fend off attacks, as well as 2 farmhands who will not fend off attacks. Aside from the main building, the farm has a ton of other construction options available, including an animal pen, an apiary, a fully equipped blacksmithing workshop, exterior decoration, a farmhand bunkhouse, a stable, and a windmill. The animals in the pen will provide milk and eggs for the pantry, and the crops grown on the farm will provide you with ingredients. With a large planter, you'll have 44 plots of fertile soil to harvest from, which can prove to be very lucrative indeed. Your alchemy skill will be sky high in no time, and you'll be sorted for survival mode. But hang on, where's the nearest alchemy table? Fear not, my friend, just head down these stairs, and voila! An alchemy table, an enchanting table, soul gems, ingredients, potions, a mannequin, and 3 weapon plaques can be found. Once you're done brewing potions and enchanting gear, head back upstairs to your quaint little home. The kitchen dining area offers a cooking pot and oven, which again is essential for survival mode. Next door you'll find the armory with 2 more mannequins, 2 weapon racks, and 2 bookshelves. You can even add a shrine of your choice here, but if you want to keep those little critters somewhere, you'll sadly have to replace this room. But not on my watch. May Talos guide you. Upstairs you'll find the bedroom, warmed by the fire, and includes desk space and more storage for weapons, books, and more. It's surprising how much can fit in such a small space, and yet it's still got everything you need. Ooh, and there's a sweet roll. Let's take this onto the wraparound balcony, shall we? Gorgeous day for it, ladies. And make sure you tend to those crops. Oi, and Lydia, stop slacking. Last but not least, we have the stable, which comes with a fine horse and the farmhand bunkhouse. But the best part, Goldenhills Plantation will cost you nothing. Well, except for the total sum of all the upgrades, which comes out to 4,600 to 4,750 gold, depending on whether you go for the children's bedroom or the library and display room. To wrap it up, Goldenhills Plantation is a farmer's paradise, and it's got everything you need. But as a wizard, I'd rather be hurling fireballs in a mystical tower than milking cows on a farm. And for that reason, it goes in the A tier. If you head south from Goldenhills Plantation, you'll find Hendraheim, another home from the Curation Club. It's situated in the Reach and is surrounded by enemy territories, but don't worry, it's elevated and bordered by mountains to avoid any nosy neighbours. Hendraheim offers some fantastic views of the valley below, and if you're feeling adventurous, you can always take a dip in the nearby waterfall at Bard's Leap Summit. The house's exterior looks like Jorvarska's upside down boat, but without the shields, sterns or stems, which makes it feel more homely. Outside, you'll find all you need, a full smithing station, a wood chopping block, and a large planter, with 6 plots of fertile soil for all your gardening needs. There's also a stable too, but sadly, no horse, just the previous owner's corpse. The interior is way more spacious than Goldenhills Plantation, so you can spread out and enjoy its lofty ceilings, rustic wooden beams, and ample seating all to yourself. Plus, the patterned fabrics, fur rugs, and forsworn type decor will make you feel like one with the Reach. But now for the good stuff. 2 weapon racks loom menacingly at the entrance, daring your neighbours to come knocking. Beyond them, you'll find enchanting and alchemy tables full of potions, ingredients, and soul gems. And that's just the beginning. If you keep hugging the right side, you'll enter the display area with 5 mannequins, 4 display cases, and 6 weapon plaques. On the opposite side, you'll find the dining room, complete with enough food and ingredients to make a khajiit and a bookshelf to satisfy the scholars. And if you're feeling peckish, fear not, for there's a cooking pot and oven waiting for you. It's where I like to hang out most of the time, because after all, what's the point of having a beautiful home in the Reach if you're not going to reach for the snacks? Through the double doors is a small but well-furnished family bedroom, complete with a children's bedroom on the left and a double bed on the right. You'll also find a shrine of Akatosh here, a safe to store your most precious treasures, and a desk where you can procrastinate on your quest to save the world. Priorities, people? And saving the best for last, there's a basement with a colossal armory. 12 mannequins, 12 weapon plaques, 4 display cases, 2 weapon racks, 2 shield racks, and even busts for all Dragon Priest masks, shelves for all dragon claws, and much more. If you want to know every single item that can be crammed into this basement, be sure to check out the link in the description. So what's the damage, you ask? It's free and comes fully furnished. Thanks, Edwina, for hooking us up with a solid build in a prime spot. It's a spacious, well-furnished, free-flowing home with a great armory and all the essential amenities. It too goes in the A tier. But now for our first dwarven home on the list. Nchuanthumz, aka the Where the Heck Am I house. If you haven't heard of it, that's probably because it's from the Curation Club, but also because it's easily forgotten. Here's why. It's located in Eastmarch, just north of Cargrenzel, and can be entered through Frostroot Cave, which is the start of this terrible obstacle course. Every time you want to visit this home, you'll first have to travel or fast travel there, enter Frostroot Cave, trek through the cave, and then finally enter your home after 3 loading screens. It's like going through airport security. Once you do enter this behemoth of a home, you'll be lost in it for days, like a tourist in a foreign country without Google Maps. I had to run a good few marathons around the place just to get my bearings, and by the time I did, I was ready for a nap, and a map of Nchuanthumz tattooed on my arm. Being this incredible size though, it does offer a lot, but there's a lot of empty space. Sure, it's got all the basics, like a full smithing station, enchanting and alchemy tables, and a kitchen complete with cooking facilities, but the armory is a joke. There are only 3 mannequins and a couple of display cases to make use of. But looking on the bright side, there is enough storage to satisfy even the most obsessive hoarder, and maybe you'll find solace in the small planters. And with enough beds to accommodate your entire family and more, you'll never have to worry about overcrowding. In fact, you might even forget you have a family altogether once you get lost in this labyrinth. And if you are feeling stressed from all the wandering, you can take a dip in the spa, complete with a steam room. Nchuanthumz also boasts a great hall fit for a jarl, with a large dining table and an elevated throne surrounded by cool dwarven statues. It even has a massive manufactory that requires a lift to get to, but is absolutely useless once you've acquired the house. It's a shame too, because those dwarven centurions would have made for amazing mechanical guards for the place. But nah. Thankfully, Nchuanthumz is free, but with so many downsides, I can't help but place it in the D tier. Well, now that one's out of the way, let's talk about Lakeview Manor. This is the first of 3 homesteads from the Hearthfire expansion, and it does not disappoint. Situated high up in the dense pine forests of Falkreath, overlooking the beautiful Lake Illanalta, Lakeview Manor provides a tranquil and secluded environment for those seeking serenity in nature. Are you kidding? You'll need to keep your head on a swivel for those wolves, bandits, bears, giant spiders, giants, and dragons who are after your chickens, cows, family, and house. In fact, out of the 3 homesteads, Lakeview Manor receives the most enemies, so you better brush up on your combat skills, otherwise it'll be a catastrophe. To top things off, there's also a necromancer's altar nearby, and a wolf den full of skeletons, so the kids can learn about death and decay at an early age. You gotta start them off young. Anyway, aside from the enemies and death, it is a bloody great house, and the customization features are remarkable. Once the main hall is built, you have the opportunity to add 3 additional wings, each having 3 potential options. Typically, I'll go for the triple tower setup, which boasts an enchanter's tower, alchemy lab, and library. A proper wizard setup, but the wife would appreciate a kitchen, but I gotta read somewhere. It's got just about every room you can think of, and this book will detail them all. As with all the homesteads, when fully upgraded, you'll get a complete smithing station, a plantation, an animal pen, a stable, a carriage, and even your very own bard to play you some tunes as you mourn the loss of your beloved livestock. But each of these homes does have one unique feature, and in Lakeview Manor's case, it's an apiary. Just through the front door, you'll find the entryway, which can be remodelled if you're not a fan. Personally, I like this one because it's roomier and you get some cool mounted trophies, weapon racks, an extra display case, and a strongbox. Sure, you lose the bed and cooking pot, but who needs sleep when you've got loot to admire?
Thanks.
Plus, there are more beds and a cooking pot inside. As you strut into the living room, you'll be greeted by the head of a majestic elk, mounted above the fireplace. The high ceiling and 2-story balconies make you feel like you've stumbled into a mini castle, or at least a rather fancy cabin. It's got an alchemy table for all your potion making needs, plenty of storage to hoard your precious loot, and another display case to show off your fancy weaponry. The living room beyond has even more seating, with yet another display case and a weapon plaque to flaunt your sheer badassery. I could go on about all the other wings, but that really depends on what you're into. Upstairs, the enchanting table awaits, along with 4 display cases, a mannequin, and more storage for all your junk. When it's time for bed, you and your family can snuggle up in the cozy bedrooms and pray that the wolves, bandits, bears, giant spiders, giants, and dragons don't burst in and ruin your beauty sleep. The children's bedroom is also conveniently located right across from the master bedroom, so you can hear your children scream for help in crystal clear clarity. Talk about family bonding. And now, for the grand finale, we have the ultimate hiding spot from your nagging spouse, the cellar. It's the perfect place to escape when they won't stop complaining about the area.
Fine, when we're not fending off attacks by wolves, or bears, or giant spiders. Honestly, what we do...
Mara, Debella, Kinnereth, Akatosh, Divines, please help me.
You'll find all the essentials for a great time. A weapon rack, weapon plaques, a mannequin, and of course, the shrines to the Divines. And if that's not enough, there's more. You'll also find plenty of storage for all your precious treasures, including 10 safes. And if you're still too scared to leave your underground bunker, don't worry, you can still craft weapons and armor at the full smithing station, and stare at all your catches in your very own aquarium. So if you're willing to part with just 5,000 gold, Lakeview Manor can be yours. However, how it's constructed is up to you. With all that being said, this absolutely belongs in the S tier, even if it is a magnet for attracting enemies. At least it's not boring. Hold on to your pockets and watch your back, because we're about to sneak into Riften's Shadowfoot Sanctum. Another Creation Club home that's perfect for all you sneaky thieves out there. It's located in the Ratway, so don't expect a 5-star experience, but do expect plenty of character. What's great about this creation is that it adds a new map marker for the Riften docks, so you can enter the property in just 1 or 2 loading screens, depending on whether you fast travel. Nchuanthumz, take notes, but beware, the quickest entrance requires a little dip in the sewer and some fancy footwork to avoid the rat trappings. Once you've made your less than elegant entrance, you'll find yourself in the smithing room, which comes fully equipped with all the necessities, including a built-in fire to take care of that smelter. But passing through these double doors reveals a whole different property, and it almost made me forget about the stench of rat defecation running through my beard. I expected the shabbiness and rattiness to continue throughout, so I was rather impressed to find such a contrast. Furry rugs, carpets, and colourful upholstery help to liven up the dark space, as do the portraits. And here's one of the thief stone to help remind you of your duty. Opening the first door on the left will lead you to your little thiefling's room, complete with enough storage to hide all their stolen sweet rolls, and a shrine of Kinnereth to pray for forgiveness when they get caught. On the right, you'll find a kitchen bar to whip up some sneaky snacks for your next heist. And when it's time to retire after a long hard day of thieving, your thief's master bedroom awaits, with plenty of space to hide your precious stolen goods. There's even a shrine of Mara above the bed, should you make the same mistake as your children. Sadly, there's no alchemy or enchanting table or place to show off your weapons and armors, so that's it. Just kidding, check this out. There are enough mannequins in here to set up a shop, 19 to be exact. You've also got 5 weapon racks, 5 shield racks, busts for all dragon priest masks, shelves for all dragon claws, and much more. If you're curious about every little thing that can fit into this sneaky hideaway, check out the link in the description. So cost-wise, you can get this property for a measly 7,500 gold, which is a steal in my opinion. The only downside is that I'm a wizard, not a thief, so it goes in the A tier. Moving away from the grungy streets of Riften to the fancier side of Skyrim, we have Vlindrel Hall of Markarth. This ancient Dwemer city is a master of disguise and blends seamlessly into the surrounding rock face and natural features. But beware, the locals aren't the friendliest bunch. However, with Vlindrel Hall being the highest of all homes in Markarth, you won't have to bother with them. It's like a majestic eagle's nest perched up high in the mountains and offers some fantastic views of the city. While the views from Vlindrel Hall are breathtaking, the city smithing station requires a short jaunt to get to. But you can pass by the market, a general goods store, and an inn on your way. Like all the homes in Markarth, Vlindrel Hall features Dwemer architecture, and a long heated entryway sets the tone for the property. As you make your way through, the warmth radiates from every nook and cranny, including the living room, where you'll find plenty of seating, rugs, bookshelves, a mannequin, and a display case that's just begging to be filled by Keening to match that dwarven aesthetic. In this room on the left, you have a choice. Either put up with some little critters or brew some potions that will knock your socks off. It was a no-brainer for me. As for the room on the right, it provides an armory enchanting space where you can show off your shields, weapons, and enchanting skills. And if the kids and spouse have taken over the first living room, do not fret. There is a second, equally toasty den just beyond it, so you shouldn't catch a chill while plotting how to reclaim your territory. It even comes equipped with a cooking pot, so you shouldn't get hungry either. You'll also find another display case, but sadly, no more mannequins. But the master bedroom is nearby, complete with ample storage, a display case, and a weapon plaque. On the other side of the living room is the so-called housecarl's quarters, but much like my attempts at finding my spouse an adequate home, the game simply wouldn't allow me to become Thane. But then again, Argus wouldn't have paid me rent anyway, so good riddance to that freeloader, I say. As for the price of Vlindrel Hall, it'll cost you 8,000 gold, and if you want all the upgrades, it'll cost a total of 11,900 or 12,200 gold, depending on whether you go for the children's bedroom or alchemy lab. It's one of my long-time favourite homes in one of my favourite cities. It goes high up in the B tier. And if you're into raising the dead, this next home is for you. Welcome to Gallows Hall, the perfect home for anyone who loves to dabble in necromancy. Just north of Mara's Eye Pond, this home is dead serious about catering to your dark desires, and like Vlindrel Hall, it's carved into the mountainside, but like a tombstone in a graveyard. The interior consists of 3 stories of bone-chilling delight, with the top floor serving as the entrance to the underworld. As you'd expect, Gallows Hall is dark and gloomy, with torches lighting up coffins, cobwebs, and various skeletal remains. And if that's not enough to get your spine tingling, there's even a lighting fixture made of bones above the altar. You'll find an alchemy and enchanting table stocked with ingredients and soul gems, a smithing station minus the smelter, 4 mannequins, 2 display cases, a cooking pot, and even a fancy new shrine to Vermina, the Daedric Prince of Nightmares. But the main attraction of this room is the Altar of the Revenant, a soul gem vending machine that transforms your boring greater and grand soul gems into sleek black soul gems. You could use it to make some serious coin, or you could just hoard them all to yourself. And if you need a break from all the spooky action, there's a somewhat cozy bedroom waiting for you underneath the altar. It comes with 3 weapon plaques and some nifty storage for all your creepy collectibles. But beware, brave adventurer, for the deepest, darkest corner of this abode holds the Warforge, where you can create a permanent undead follower that won't count towards your maximum number of summons. And if you manage to solve the spooky puzzle, you can score this Den of Darkness for free. Personally, the whole dark and gloomy vibe is a bit too sinister for my liking, but the killer perks, including the unique gear, are enough to raise its grade from a D to a C. Just don't forget to bring a nightlight. Hey, wizard, are you enjoying the video so far? If so, a like would be much appreciated. And if you're feeling extra generous, consider becoming a patron of mine. You'll get early access to all my content, as well as sneak peeks and behind the scenes. Just head on over to the link on the screen, or find it in the description. Now back to the rankings. Now let's brighten things up a bit and talk about the bougiest mansion in all of Skyrim, Proudspire Manor. It's located in the heart of Solitude, so you better have deep pockets if you want to call this place home. And with the house situated so close to the city's centre, even trying to get to it after fast travelling to the Blue Palace is like watching a mud crab try to climb a mountain. It's slow, painful, and you're not sure if it's worth it. But hey, at least you get a decent view of the Sea of Ghosts from the patio. Proudspire Manor is so extra that it offers not 1, not 2, but 3 different ways to access the property. 2 doors lead to the 2nd floor, and 1 leads directly to the basement, where you can flex your alchemy and enchanting skills. Here you'll find enough ingredients to make a Hargraven jealous, along with 4 weapon plaques, 1 weapon rack, 2 mannequins, but only a handful of soul gems. And don't expect any chests, not even on the second floor, but there is a barrel to store your disappointment, and the housecarl's quarters. The real tragedy though, is that there's no smithing station. For the price of this place, you'd think they'd have thrown in two, a personal blacksmith
Gods be praised.
and a dragon to guard it. But nope. Not even the capital of Skyrim can offer a decent smelter, but thank the divines for mods. The second floor isn't much to talk about either, but hey, at least there's a fish tank to keep you company while you contemplate how to cram all your stuff into 2 small living rooms. And if you're hoping the third floor is where it's at, you may be disappointed. The only thing you'll find is a children's bedroom and a master bedroom. With a chest, finally, a bit of storage, a weapon rack, and a safe. Oh, and let's not forget about the unusual gem for all you trophy hunters out there. With a price tag of 25,000 gold or 36,000 gold if you want all the upgrades, Proudspire Manor is the perfect place to blow all your septims on a fancier dress and a fish tank. But if you are too broke to afford it, don't worry, there's a sneaky trick to get it for free. It's like shoplifting, but without the risk of getting caught, and also works on other expensive houses too. You've just got to be quick.
Wonderful. Here is the key to your new home.
So, despite Proudspire Manor's flaws, I'd still choose to live the bougie life in solitude and spend my days in a spooky crypt summoning the undead like it's Tuesday. And for that reason, Proudspire Manor gets a B. If you're not into flexing your wallet and instead prefer a cozy cabin, then Honeyside might be more your speed. It's a charming little 2-story abode found on the northwest side of Riften. Like Proudspire Manor, it offers a view, but instead of the Sea of Ghosts, you get to feast your eyes on the beautiful Lake Onric, where you can fish for your next meal. And if you run into Maul, the neighborhood bully, no worries. Just take the shortcut through the side gate, or use your porch. The blacksmith is also conveniently nearby to sharpen your weapons and make them Maul-proof. But again, don't expect to find any smelter for your ores. If you need a quick pick-me-up, Elgrim's Elixirs is only a parkour away. You can even harvest veggies and ingredients from the garden, and 2 clucking chickens will make your meals more exciting. And speaking of meals, the kitchen comes fully stocked and plenty of grub dangles from the ceiling like piñatas waiting to be whacked. You can also show off your weapons up here with 2 weapon plaques, plus there's ample storage and even a chest. It already makes Proudspire Manor look like a glorified broom closet in comparison. And downstairs, get ready to whip up some potions in the alchemy lab with a decent amount of ingredients, or flex your enchanting skills with 1 weapon rack, 3 weapon plaques, 2 mannequins, and some soul gems. And if that's not your thing, you can always swap it for the children's bedroom. So if whipping some potions isn't enough, then you could always whip your child up a good meal. What in oblivion were you thinking, you monster? Yeah, this sure is the best place to eat raw. But now you're finished, why don't you make your father some leather strips?
None of my business.
Raw? Honeyside can be yours for 5,000 to 8,000 gold, depending on how much you have in your pockets at the time of purchase, plus an extra 4,300 gold for all its upgrades. It may not be the fanciest home, but it's got character and a balcony with a picturesque view, so it deserves a solid B and a pat on the back for being affordable. The next stop on our house tour is Heljarchen Hall, the second of 3 homesteads from the Hearthfire expansion. It's located on the southern border of the Pale, so you get the best of both worlds, freezing your butt off in the snow and getting grass stains on your clothes. Nah, but to be honest with you, this contrast is actually really nice to see, and is basically a 2-for-1 deal on the terrain. The view towards Whiterun and the throat of the world is also fantastic, and you won't even notice your toes turning blue. The house itself is identical to the other 2 from the expansion, including all of the options for customization, so I won't bore you with those details again. However, like Lakeview Manor's apiary, what makes Heljarchen Hall unique is its grain mill. Finally, you can fulfill your lifelong dream of becoming a master baker and opening your own bakery. Just imagine it. Dovahkiin's delicious delights, pastry of the Thu'um, or even Fusro dough. The possibilities are endless, as are the extra pounds you'll gain. But please let me know your favourite bakery names in the comments below. I'm sure we'd all love to hear them. So if you're willing to part with just 5,000 gold, Heljarchen Hall can be yours. However, how it's constructed is up to you. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the rating. It's obviously in the S tier, how could it not be? And you know what? I'll even position it above Lakeview Manor, as it's a better place to bring up the kids and offers unobstructed views. You could say it's domestic. And up next is arguably the best place to bring up the kiddos, assuming they're not afraid of the occasional dragon attack. I'm talking about good old Breezehome of Whiterun, of course. This city is a hard one to top, as it has it all. 2 blacksmiths with at least 1 smelter, a tavern and hunting supply store to stock up on arrows, a market to buy and sell your loot, a general goods store for all your miscellaneous needs, an alchemy shop for brewing potions and poisons, an inn to wet your whistle, and the companions to train you in the art of combat. And let's not forget about the Temple of Kinnereth and the Shrine of Talos, for when you need to repent after a night of excessive mead drinking. The waterfalls and streams running from the mighty Dragon's Reach throughout the city also give off a very peaceful vibe.
Do you get to the Cloud District very often? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't.
Breezehome may be small and situated in the Plains District, but it's conveniently located right by the entrance to Whiterun, is near all the major merchants, and is next door neighbours with war maidens, so you can quickly upgrade your gear before setting off. The fire inside Breezehome is so inviting you'll want to curl up with a tome of arcane knowledge and a sweet roll, while your precious loot is safely tucked away in some storage and a chest. There's also a weapon rack down here, and this alchemy lab can be swapped for a children's bedroom if you prefer, but your boy prefers his potion making. But be warned, there is no enchanter, which is a bit of a bummer, but such is the price of a modest abode. Upstairs, you'll discover the housecarl's quarters, also known as I'm Sworn to Carry Your Burdens room, and the master bedroom complete with some extra storage, including another chest. Breezehome is the ultimate bargain at just 5,000 gold, and if you want to upgrade your humble abode, it'll only cost you a measly total of 6,550 or 6,800 gold, depending on whether you're a master alchemist or a responsible parent. It's the perfect starter home for those who want to live in a fantastic city without breaking the bank, and that's why it goes in the B tier. Just on the outskirts of Whiterun, you'll find the cozy Tundra Homestead. It's like the little brother to those fancy Hearthfire estates, but don't let its size fool you, for this quaint little cottage from the Creation Club is a gem. It's nestled next to the White River, where you can test your old school fishing skills from your doorstep and catch some dinner. And with 8 open plots around the back, as well as a couple of veggies, you'll have plenty of farming to do. The apiaries, complete smithing station, and wood chopping block will also keep you busy, but don't forget to take breaks and admire the breathtaking views of Whiterun and the mighty throat of the world. If you're feeling daring and want to defy the laws of physics, Tundra Homestead even has a stable for your trusty steed. Just don't blame me if your horse starts levitating or spontaneously combusts. Inside the cottage, it is as cozy as a dragon's lair, as welcoming as a giant's hug, and as fancy as a jarl's feast. The hearth blazes like a dragon, the plant life adds a touch of nature, the colourful rugs make you feel like royalty, and these regal high-backed chairs are fit for a king. This entryway is so cozy it'll make you forget about your quest to save the world, and instead focus on cooking up a storm in that pot and baking surface that doubles as an oven. To the left is the family bedroom, a snug little room where you can worship Mara and Akatosh while admiring some paintings. It's also got a chest and some decent storage so you can stash your dragon bones and stolen sweet rolls from your pesky kids. But enough about the boring stuff. To the right is the Wizard's Tower, where you can mix up some potions and enchant your gear. But sadly, there's no ladder to climb for those stunning views, which is a bummer. But hey, at least we get an impressive armory down in the cellar. 10 mannequins, 6 weapon plaques, 7 display cases, 2 weapon racks, busts for all Dragon Priest masks, a board for all dragon claws, and much more. If you're wondering what else you can cram into this cellar, check out the link in the description. As for the cost of this beauty, it'll set you back 7,500 gold, and it comes fully furnished. It's a no-brainer really, it deserves a spot in the S tier. Now let's journey to a place that's sure to make you feel alive. Dead Man's Dread. This haunted abode is located on the spooky Blackbone Isle in the Sea of Ghosts, and it's so isolated that you'll need a boat to get there. The good news is that once you arrive, you can fast travel back there in the future. However, the bad news is that if you want to leave, you'll have to row your way back to Skyrim. No. Unless you use this map above the captain's quarters. Again, why do these Creation Club homes have to be so difficult? It would have been way more convenient if it just functioned like Castle Volkihar. But never mind. As you enter the grotto, you'll discover a massive pirate ship run by the undead. Unfortunately, it appears that the pirates' booty consists mainly of dull crates, oversized sacks, and barrels filled with mundane junk. The only things that won't make you jump ship up here are the workbench and grindstone, but once you step inside, prepare for a treasure trove of disappointment. That's right, I searched through 4 crew bedrooms hoping to strike gold, but all I got was a lousy scimitar. No precious gems, just a whole lot of why did I even bother. But fear not, there are still some treasures to be found, including a Shrine of Archay, a smithing room with even more scimitars, and an alchemy and enchanting station. And if you're feeling hungry, there's a cooking pot to whip up some grub, a wood chopping block to release your frustration, and a children's bedroom for your little scallywags. But the real treasure lies in the captain's quarters, where you can finally score some sweet loot, a unique saber, and some swanky pirate clothes that'll make you feel like a real sea dog. Yarr! Just don't get too excited because you can't ride the ship or hire a crew to fill up those empty bedrooms. Dead Man's Dread is free, thank the divines, and I think it tops Nchuanthumz for being the worst home on the list, and that's saying something. Shiver me timbers, it sinks to the very bottom of the D tier. Sticking with the undead theme, I present to you Bloodchill Cavern, the perfect hideout for vampires. Tucked away high up in the mountains southeast of Winterhold, it's the coziest cave you'll ever sink your fangs into. Inside, you'll find the ultimate vampire home, an eerie mansion carved into the rock, with stone gargoyles keeping watch. A bridge fit for blood-sucking royalty leads you to your lair, where you can enjoy the soothing sounds of 2 mighty waterfalls as they drown out the screams of your victims. Once inside, you'll find a wood chopping block and 4 small garden planters with 3 plots each, because even vampires need to tend to their herbs. As you descend further into the lair, you'll arrive at the hallway with red and black flooring and 5 mysterious doorways draped in red and black curtains. Need to forge some weapons?
Gods be praised.
The first doorway on the left leads to a fully equipped smithing room with 2 weapon racks, 3 chests, and a strongbox. There's even a small dungeon at the bottom, because what vampire lair is complete without one? Got little fangbearers?
Wow, thanks.
They'll be amazed by their huge bedroom, complete with vampire dolls, and a cozy fireplace that'll warm their cold, undead hearts. And want a place to get drunk?
Did anyone else hear that?
The second doorway on the left is your one-stop shop for an oven, cooking pot, goblets overflowing with blood, and a long table where you and your vampire kin can feast like royalty. Feeling sleepy?
What's the hurry?
The double doors across the hallway have got you covered, with a cozy master vampire bed, enchanting and alchemy tables, including a staff enchanter, and even coffins for when you're feeling extra undead. Plus, with 7 mannequins and 6 display cases, you can show off your fabulous vampire fashion, while also storing all your loot. You'll even get a warm hearth, red high-back chairs, and a desk for all your blood-curdling paperwork. And if all that wasn't satisfactory, the door at the end of the hallway reveals a monster armory, 17 mannequins, 8 weapon racks, 9 weapon plaques, 4 shield plaques, busts for all Dragon Priest masks, and much more. As always, check out the link in the description for the full list. Now, that is what I call a killer vampire crib. Bloodchill Cavern is absolutely free and comes fully furnished. It's a beast of a home designed to perfection for vampires with all the essential amenities. It's so good, it goes in the S tier. Now let's take a trip over to Solstheim, where we'll be checking out Severin Manor of Ravenrock. When I first arrived at this ashy wasteland, I was rather impressed. The unfamiliar ashy texture and the strange but elegantly curved architecture caught me off guard. It's unique to any other town or city and provides a whole new experience from Skyrim. The alien flora, fauna, and culture, for example, are just so different. But after a while, it began to wear on me, just like the ash-beaten lands themselves. But fear not, for like an oasis in the desert, this snail shell of a home has everything you need, so you won't have to endure the ashy lands, unless you want to barter at the local market. Once you enter the home, you'll find a cooking pot at the far end of the room, where you can whip up some delicious hawker and ash yam stew. The stairs then lead down into a hallway so dark you'll wish you'd have brought some torches or become a wizard. To your left, you'll find a basic bedroom with a chest and a small garden, but don't expect anyone to keep you company here, not a steward, housecarl, your spouse, or children. But don't worry, you'll find a fully equipped smithing room opposite with 2 weapon racks where you can hammer away all night without the risk of waking anyone up. The same goes for the mortar and pestle at the alchemy lab, where you can snatch all those ingredients off those shelves and grind them like there's no tomorrow. There's also an enchanting station across the hall, where you'll find some soul gems and 9 weapon plaques overhead. But wait, there's more. In the large master bedroom at the end of the hallway, you'll find a treasure trove for all your precious belongings, 4 mannequins to keep you company, 4 chests to store all your stuff, and 3 display cases to show off your most prized possessions. And if that's not enough, there are 8 single weapon racks to hang your weapons, 2 bookshelves to keep you entertained, and a safe to keep all your golden treasures safe. Severin Manor is completely free and comes fully furnished, but let's not forget about the slight inconvenience of having to travel back to the Windhelm docks first before setting off in Skyrim. But hey, it's definitely worth having a home here, even if it is a bit bleak and miserable. It goes in the B tier. And now for the grand finale of Hearthfire Homesteads, we have Windstad Manor. This little beauty is located in northern Hjalmarch, close to the western border of the Pale, where, like Heljarchen Hall, the snow and earth collide to create a unique landscape. It sits on the banks of the Karth and Jarl rivers and offers a picturesque view of solitude over icy shores. In fact, they're so close, they're just a fisherman's castaway. Finally, you can live out your wildest dreams of becoming a master fisherman and opening your own seafood shack. How about Dovahkiin's deep sea delights, Tamriel's tastiest tuna, or even Fusro fresh fish? The possibilities are endless as the amount of fish you'll catch. Don't forget to share your best seafood shack names in the comments below, or suffer the wrath of these fishy locals. But seriously, if you need a break from all the fishing, Windstad Manor is identical to the other two homesteads, so go ahead and give your creativity a real workout. All this can be yours for just 5,000 gold. However, how it's constructed is up to you. It's no doubt S tier material, and I'll even place it above Heljarchen Hall as the biggest catch. And behold, the ultimate abode for the most powerful wizards, Myrwatch. Tucked away in the boggy swamp of Hjalmarch, east of Morthal, this wizard's tower is like the College of Winterhold's cooler younger brother, and even comes complete with the iconic mage statue. As is typical with marshes like these, you can expect some creepy crawlies, but fear not, for if you're worthy of entrance to an abode like this, they should cause you no harm. Step inside and you'll find yourself in the main chamber, which is basically the college's arcanium, but with more personality and none of Urag Grosub's grumpiness. Comfy chairs, colourful rugs and banners add to the chillaxing vibe, while the cosy hearth in the centre is the perfect spot to roast some skeever kebabs and tell wizardry tales. Don't miss the display case over here either, as it contains some valuable gems. Peek past the curtains into the bedrooms and you'll find the kiddos' room filled with storage, seating and a chest for all their magical toys, because anything else is simply unacceptable. On the other side, the master bedroom is equipped with even more storage, another chest, a safe, a strongbox, a weapon plaque, and a mannequin for the most badass wizard robe, blessed by the divines themselves. And if all the spell casting leaves you feeling hungry, hit up the kitchen with its large dining room table, oven, and cooking pot that's fit for brewing up some wicked elsewhere fondues. Who knew being a powerful wizard could be so comfortable and delicious? And hold on to your robes now, because that's not all. Step through the portal next to the master bedroom and you'll soon forget all about the Archmage's quarters. There's an enchanting table with enough soul gems to make Azura jealous, an alchemy table with more ingredients than a giant's pantry, a staff enchanter for when you're feeling particularly wondrous, and 11 plots of fertile soil to make even the most stubborn plants grow. Not to mention a complete smithing station, 12 mannequins to further model the most badass robes, and enough weapon displays, racks and plaques to make even the most battle-hardened warrior cry tears of joy. And that's not even the best part. There are busts for all Dragon Priest masks, holders for all paragons, and so much more. Check out the link in the description for the full list. Now you'd think a magical abode like this would cost a fortune, but you'd be dead wrong, as it's free and comes fully furnished. And as a wizard myself, I can confidently say that Myrwatch deserves a spot in the Wizards Hall of Fame, and I think we can all agree that it deserves an S tier rating. So now that you've seen the top player homes in Skyrim, which one will you choose as your next abode? Let me know in the comments below. And if you don't want to miss out on more top-notch Skyrim content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I promise to post more frequently. Thanks for watching, wizards, for this has been the Welsh Wizard, and I shall see you all in the next one.